Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss about Stack Exchange Redis Extension Library, which is an ex extension library for original Stack Exchange Redis library. So in this demo, we are going to create a sample .NET 5 application where we are going to integrate the Redis cache implementation using this extension library. So let's jump start into creating the demo application. So if you want to create a .NET 5 application, you can do it with Visual Studio 2019. Here in this demo, I am going to use the CLI commands where I am going to use the editor like Visual Studio Code. So if you are using Visual Studio 2019, please make sure to have a latest version of the Visual Studio to work with .NET 5, or else you can also do same steps using the .NET Core applications 2 or 3 as well. So let's create a sample application and given CLI command .NET new my application name template. Here I am going to create a web API sample application, so I need to define the template name. Now I can give the my application name. Application.api. Now let's click on enter. It's going to create the my sample application using the CLI command. Successfully, my template has been created. Let me open my project Visual Studio Code. This is a command to open the Visual Studio Code from the command prompt. So here is my .NET Core, .NET 5 Web API application. You can check here in the C project. It shows .NET 5 version. Okay, let's for in for integrating Stack Exchange extension library. There are so many extension libraries. In that, we are mainly concentrate on two main libraries. Like one is Stack Exchange. Let me zoom in. Stack Exchange Redis extension for ASP.NET Core. So this library is for specifically for .NET Core and 5 also it will work. And Newton sort serialization extension. This Newton sort serialization extension is specifically for serializing and deserializing our data into string before saving and after retrieving to typecast it into one data type. So it is very flexible. Without we have to manually serialize this library will help us to serialize and deserialize implicitly. That makes us very helpful. So let me add this NuGet packages into my application. So just go to the NuGet page on the top link. And if you are using Visual Studio 2019, go for package manager. Since I am using .NET CLI command, I am going to copy the CLI command. Let me go to here and open my terminal window. Bit slow. Let copy here. Now it is going to download the ASP.NET Core package. So I have completed downloading the package. You can also see the package added to the my .cproj file. Now let me download Newtonsoft extension also. Go to NuGet, search for it, and the same similar way. If you are a package manager, Visual Studio, please download it. Or using .NET CLI, you can use this process. So let me copy CLI command Paste here. Let's download Newtonsoft library also. So you can see here I have downloaded two NuGet packages. Sorry, two NuGet packages like ASP.NET Core and Newtonsoft libraries have been installed in my project. So now let's get started. Since it has been this library, ASP.NET Core library gives us the flexibility to use this Redis cache by using constructor injection. So to before injecting it Redis client, cache client, we need to register its services in our startup class. So let's add the services into startup class in startup file. In the configure services, we need to register all our required services. So for to use this Redis service, Redis library, we need to register a one service library like services services dot add tag. Here you can see Stack Exchange Redis library service it is showing. So let me add this, and we need to define our serialization type. Since we have installed our Newtonsoft library for Redis cache extension, we need to utilize that uh, serialization type in here. Um, so Newtonsoft serializer. Let's import its namespace. Here you can see it is from StackExchange.Redis.Extension.Newtonsoft. So let register here. Sorry for that. Here it will have two overloaded methods where it is expecting the configurations of the our Redis cache. Configurations is nothing but like port number, Redis connection string name, and the database and connection routes, all the configurations regarding to communicating with the Redis store. Here we have two types of overloaded method. So let us use second option like create options, and here we need to return Redis configuration object. So let me get rid of this full namespace by importing on the top. So here currently I am giving no configurations, only I have created a empty configurational object. Here to configure, we are going to use JSON settings. It's this JSON settings have a structure where we have to follow the same structure. Here we can copy the structure from the official doc. Here in configuration section, you can find JSON configurations. So go to there, and here you can see lot of the configuration section. Let me zoom in. Like password, if you have any, hello admin, if you have any special permissions, SSL. To it is like our HTTP protocol. For local, you can assign false only. Connection timeout in seconds for 6 seconds, and connection retry. This connection retry is for initial setup to communicate with the Redis store. If the first time it is failed to establish a connection with the Redis store, it will try again. If we specify with the count number, if we increase, it will try initial setup n number of times based on the count. Database will be the like a integer value, database value. Redis database, all names will be in the integer only. By default, we can use 0 only. Like if you have server name, it's an optional. And here is the main array of the object like host and port. You can give the multiple of your host name and the port name of our different Redis cache stores. In our sample, I am going to use one only. So let me copy this up to here. Only this Redis cache array. So let me copy this and go to my app setting JSON file. Let's add here, and I will get rid of few settings which are optional. So just I am removing them. I can remove my service name, and I will only use single host, and my password will be empty only because I won't set any password in my local. No permissions I am giving, and the SSL will be false, and connection timeout I will set for 6 seconds, and connection try for 2 times. I am using the default database as 0. Now I want to give host name and host. Before that, in this sample, to run the Redis store in my local system, I am going to use Docker container. Why I am choosing Docker container is because it is easy, and no need to install the physical exe file for a physical exe software file of the Redis cache. It is so simple to the developers getting started. I have already created one video on creating a Redis Redis Docker container. So you can check the link below in the description if you want. So let me start first my Redis container. So let me open a new command prompt. New command prompt I am starting my Docker container, starting running my Docker container. For that command is like Docker start my container name. This container name is I have already created. To view the all the process, please watch the video below in the description. So my container name is like my Redis cache run. Let me do it again. Docker start my Redis Redis cache container name. It should be start by now. Let Yes, it is started. My Redis Docker container is running now. So now I can configure this container to communicate with my application. So to communicate, I need a domain and a port. So docker.ps. It will show the all the running Docker containers in my system. Now currently my Docker running is my Redis cache is running my container name. Here domain name will be for this Redis container will be localhost. Port name will be a somewhat what I have mapped explicitly. So this is the default port number of the Redis which is running in Dockerized container. To access the Redis into our applications, I need to use external local port of local port. So here my custom external local port is 5003. So Redis will be accessed using this port number. So let me configure it. So my port number will be 5003, which is the exposed port for the Redis container. And here I am going to use the local host. So let me save it. Now we need to read all these configurations into our uh, um, startup file. So let's remove this and read those configuration files. Configuration dot get section. Just give the property name, main property root name. Here it is Redis. This name I need to give this name. I need to give. Sorry for that. Let me zoom out. Yeah, better I think. This name I need to give to access in the startup file from the configurations. So Redis and dot get, it will read and typecast it as Redis configuration object type. So that's going to, yeah. So finally now we are able to read all our configurations. We will read all our configurations from the JSON file. So the basic initial setup like required libraries and reading of the configuration section is completed. So let's create a sample endpoint. Let me create here like test.controller.cs. Yes, sorry for that. And details API sample dot controller. Let me create the class file for the controller like test controller context. So controller base need to be inherited, which is from .NET Core MVC. So let me add API controller and the route attribute to make the specified its route as test. So first, to communicate with Redis store, the Redis Tag Exchange library gives us a client is called Redis cache controller. Let's inject that into our controller. So create a private variable which is read only, which memory will be assigned at constructor level. Redis cache client. Okay. This cache client. Let me import the namespace. Here you can see it is from Stack Exchange Redis Extension Core.Abstractions. So let's inject into our controller. Inject it. Redis cache container. Redis cache. Name it like this and assign it to our local variable. So that's it. We have also injected the Redis client that we are going to use for filtering or querying or saving the data to the Redis store. It is like a heart of our application where this client will communicate with the Redis store. So let's create a simple action method where we are going to save simple string and fetch the same simple string from the Redis store. Let me create an action method like name it as gets get set uh, cache, any name you on your wish. Okay, now let use the Redis cache client to store the simple data. Here see, by default client will comes with around 16 databases as per the Redis store features. So if you are using, if you know, if you are using this I mean, what I mean is that if you are using the database 0, you can use directly this dbo dot command dot sorry, dbo dot like get a sync. You can use like this. So by default, Redis cache is directly providing the database also. If you are using database number other than these configurations or something different, you can tell Redis cache client to take the database from the configurations Redis configuration that we are added in JSON file. Here I am using database 0, right? So that will be loaded if you use a method like info get db from configurations. Now it will load the 0 db from here. These configurations it will take. If you are so specific, you can use databases directly like DBO 0, DBO 1, DBO 2, etc. I want to use from the configuration itself, so it is more dynamic. It is like add a sync string. Sorry, this is the right method to set our data. So I'm defining string. It should show. So here is the forwarding method like key value and it is like always reply or see in the second overload method theme you can see expiry date. You can set your expiry value for this record here itself. So let me add some data to store my name and value. Sorry, yes, system.using and add 1 hour time for it. Now I would add 1 hour time. So since it is an asynchronous method, make our action method async compatible. So let's use async task. Add the thread task namespace and give it here await. Let me break down this statement. Yeah. So this is to store the method. Here I am using Redis cache client and accessing the database configuration from the JSON file. Like here, 0 database will be read from the JSON file, and I am setting the simple string value like using key as my name and value, and its expiration is set for 1 hour. Let me fetch the same data into from the Redis only. Right, Redis class get configuration get sync. This method will fetch us our data from the Redis store. Just give my key value. Now store this value to return from the API result. Return value. So that's it. Our basic action method is completed. Let's configure route also. Route. Name the route. Get set caching. Define the attribute. Action method type. Get. That's it. We have completed. So this here we are saving the data to cache store and returning the data to the cache store. Okay, that I will explain later. So here, so let's test this endpoint whether we are getting data or not. Here, save all data and run without debugging. haven't created any. So let me try to run again some build issue. Let me try to run again. Yeah, it started running. Let's access our test endpoint get hyphen set hyphen cache. So here you can see my value is fetching from the action method. See the value which is get loaded from the using the get async, which retrieves the data from the data store using the key value. This is my value I have stored in the first step. In second step I am returning the same value and returning as the response. Same response is appearing here. So here we have stored the simple data. Let's try to store the complex data. Let me create. For this demo purpose, I am creating a class. Add a new folder like models. Here I am going to create new class file like let's call it a student. Sorry, I'm created a plain file. It should be CS file. Okay. Now namespace API sample dot models. Now create a student model class, public class student if all def, and let's use some fake properties like simple properties id public string name. Let's also add one more class like class contact details, which makes student model more complex data type. Contact detail. Here I am going to store string email and public string and phone number. Phone, let it be. Let's create a details property in student model. So this is a sample of our complex model type. Let's try to store this complex model data into our Redis store. So let me create a new action method that is also supports asynchronous. So let it be async action method. I action result get set type catchy because type catchy. Okay. Now copy. Let's add some fake student data where student equal to new student student. Import the namespace and create some fake data like id equal to 1, name equal to I'm going to give my name and contact contact detail. It is a more object complex type. Let's declare email like some fake Gmail account 7.gmail.com and I think phone number, right? Phone number equal to some fake phone number. So this is our fake data. We have to store this data into our local storage. But Redis only allowed to save string data. So if you won't use the extension library, we have to do serialize this student object into string and then pass it to the Redis store. Since we are using extension method, all the external serialization and deserialization will be carried out directly by the library itself. So just copy this line of code to store. Let make it more aligned and change my name to student and change this type to student data type. Now we need to pass the object here. No need of the string. Directly we can pass object. It accepts student and same one more time. So what you are doing? We are creating the complex object and passing that data to store in the Redis. What this add async method will do before saving to the database, it will serialize the student object into string and save it to the Redis store. Let's fetch the data back from the Redis store using the same method. Paste that, get async, make more aligned, let it. Okay. The only thing we need to change type of get type and copy the key name, pass it here and return the value. Return value. So here we are. So getAsync, what it will do? It will fetches the stored string data from the Redis store and it deserialize it back to student data type. So see, all those things are internally happening. Nothing we are doing explicitly like serialization and deserialization. So this is the more flexibility provided us by this extension library of the Stack Exchange. So let's test this endpoint API as well. Let me make it accessible. Get the type cache. Let me copy this and I think I have stopped the application. Let me run it again. It's going to run and going here. Let me change the action method name. See here how beautifully it is kept. Nothing I have did externally. All the object is written from the Redis cache by serializing automatically by the method getAsync. That's about the storing of the complex data type in Redis store. Now let's use one more great feature of this library, like saving multiple records to Redis store with the single call. This gives performance benefit. We no need to uh, go for multiple calls to save the multiple records. So with the single call, we can store multiple records. So that is like we have a method called Redis get add all async. Here the multiple records data type should be same. We cannot save multiple objects of different data types. So we have the only flexibility is to save multiple same data type in single call as a multiple records. So let's create one more action method to demo that. Public action result. Let me name it as get set multi-cache. So that's it. All the methods are available to us like asynchronous. Let's make our action method more async. Okay. So let's first look at the method and its data type. Dot add all async. Here you can see. Here you can observe its type. Its type is like input parameter value. The value, 1 minute. Okay. The input value is like list of tuples. That tuple will have string and the type. The type, string and the type. String here is for record key. Each record key will be assigned as first input parameter for the tuple and second parameter will be the type. Here we have not defined, so it is not showing in the intelligence. So that type will be value will be assigned. So let me save a small data type. Let's say contact details, simple object where contact -1 equal to new contact detail @gmail.com phone number. Sorry, let's give some fake phone number. That's it. And one more object contact underscore to new contact details and email like let me add as test@gmail.com phone number. Give some fake data. So these are like two records of same data type. So here using add all async method, we are going to save two records, not single record, two records in Redis data store with single call, with single one-time communication with Redis. We are going to save two records. So let's define the add Redis async type here. So let it be like list where input data equal to new. Okay, new list of tuple of string. String is for storing the key value and contact details or the object value we are going to store. Okay, let's add them here. Dot add contact detail type and assign the key as contact underscore one and the value will be contact value. Okay, it should be object, right? Sorry for that. Yes. Now add one more input data dot add new couple contact data. Contact underscore 2 will be the key and its value is contact 2. Now is simply going to pass this value input data, and we can specify the expiration timeline. Set time dot date time now dot add 1 hour. You can give a add hours. You can give your own expiration time. Here I am making 1 hour. Let it be like that and await. So this call will internally serializes both contact1 and contact2 as separate string objects and save them as separate records in Redis cache with single call. Let's retrieve the data and return as the output value equal to I Redis. For retrieving, we will have a method like getAllAsync. Okay, method is right. Okay, getAllAsync. Let me define the data type like list of couple and sorry, string and contact details. Get all method, what it will take, it is for retrieving multiple records in single call. For that, we need to give collection of key names as a input value. So here I am going to give our contact1 and contact2 in a collection as a input to the getAsync method. GetAsync method. Let it be string type, sorry. Right. So let's return the value to check the output. So here it's the benefit of add aliasing is with single call, it will store multiple records in Redis store. Get aliasing tools fetches the multiple records with the respective collection of keys given as the input to it. So let's create a route like let's set multi cache http get. So let's save and run it. Now just copy the route value here. Please replace it and test the data. Okay, I'm getting some error like error. Okay, okay, what went wrong? Okay, I can directly giving contact detail type explicitly is enough. It will return the collection. Each is a area of contact. It will return each object, each record by deserializing it as a contact detail and gives us a list. Let me run again. Let's reload this error page. Yes, see, I'm getting collection of records in single attempt. That's the beauty of the multiple record saving and fetching of multiple records by passing the multiple keys as the input values. So this is one of the great feature of this extension library. And let's discuss about one more feature is like searching the all keys. This will be the most beautiful one. Let's try. Uh, like make it as we are going to get all the keys that are stored in our Redis store. So make it its return type as a list of strings. So search, let it be search keys. Okay, use Redis cache and get our configuration database and search all key sessions. See, this method will fetch us the keys from our Redis store database with respect to the pattern we have assigned to it. The pattern, it is like almost like regex. If you give star, it will fetches all the keys from the Redis. Or suppose if I let's test that one first, where it will return a list of keys. Let return the to list and return all keys. So as per our theory, it should return all the keys from the Redis cache. Action result. Sorry for that. Now add a route to it. HTTP get route keys. Let's run. Sorry. Let's search for keys. See, it's fetching all my keys. Till now, I have stored to the Redis. So here I have explained you. Let me stop. Star will fetches all the data. Suppose if you want specific kind of data, let's think here we have contact, right? Let's search for only string that contains contact star. Here I am specifying the string must start with contact and end with any kind of string. So let's test now. Run it again. Pattern matching. This is called pattern matching, where such key session method will finds the matched keys only. Let's reload the page again. See here how beautifully it is searching the only keys that are matched to the given pattern as a input. So this is one of the beautiful feature. And next we will talk about removing the keys. Basically, removing of data from the cache is not a mandatory option. Most probably we have to depend on our expire date. But today's almost all websites are like a dynamic content data where we need to update the data more frequently, because if the cache data is not expired, user going to see only the old cached data, not the new actual data what application should have shown. So let's discuss about more about removing the cache. Okay, but let's make it as remove and use await Redis but remove. Remove async will remove the record from the database. Let me remove here one of the key. Hmm, let's remove my first key. I think it is my name. My name. Okay. Written. Okay. Nothing we will written. To verify that it is removing or not, let's see all the records in the data store. Let's run my application. Let's access endpoint test slash remove. Okay, it is removing. We are not returning anything, so it is empty. Let's check all keys in our database. See, my name got removed from the list. I have only these keys in my data store. My name key record has been removed. So this library also provides removing multiple records with single call by passing multiple collection of keys as a collection of string keys. Let me provide new list of strings. New list of strings, like, let me copy from over there. Copy. Here I am going to delete multiple records from the Redis store with single call. Sorry, my bad. So I am giving two records to delete. And delete the collection of records from the database. Let's run it again. And call the remove API. It's removed. To confirm that, use the set keys endpoint. See, now contact one and contact two records has been deleted from the my Redis store. So here we have seen most of the core features that had provided by the extension library, and you can try it a shot by creating some sample application by doing all the steps I have explained here. So that's all about the StackExchange Redis extension library. So I think I have given some useful information to you all. So that's it all about it. And if you have any comments or suggestion regarding my video, please make comments in the below comment section. If you are not subscribed to my channel till now, please hit on the subscribe button. Thank you.